Project avoiding a breakdown or a panic attack starts now. Good morning. It is Tuesday currently. I was planning on starting this vlog yesterday, but I needed to take the day. I had a really tough therapy session. This week is kind of going to be one of my toughest weeks of therapy. I think we're starting to get towards the end. I'm doing EMDR and IFS, and you kind of go through like the really traumatic time periods or like situations in your life one at a time. And we're kind of to like the last two, which are the bigger ones. And I say the one that we're working on now is the biggest one. It could take 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You never really know how long it's gonna take until like you're sort of like desensitized towards it. Not desensitized, maybe desensitized, just kind of to a place where you can like let it go, I guess. It's one of those things where it might get worse before it gets better. I've been through it before with other situations that we've worked through so far in therapy, but this being like the most traumatic, it just kind of took a toll on me. And we know that Thursday, my other session, is gonna be really, really tough as well. So my therapist kind of told me to work really hard to stay calm this week, keep my nervous system like very calm. But I thought with this being like, you know, our second week in our new home, I could really focus on just being happy at home. I am such a homebody, and just, you know, find pockets in between like my responsibilities of sitting and doing calming activities. We did this like IFS system with another traumatic event I went through. I did end up having a couple panic attacks, and I ended up having to book an extra session because like I couldn't function. It was that bad. It happened outside. Luckily I was with Noah. It was a very long time ago when I was pretty new into therapy, so I think now I kind of have the tools and understanding so that it won't happen again, which is why I'm going to really take care of myself this week. So this is my order of operations. Oh no, I forgot two of the things I need. They're on the table. So first I'm gonna journal, because one, I love to journal, but I'm actually gonna be journaling to that part of me that we're currently letting go of, the part of me that went through like the most trauma, kind of letting that version of me know that I'm safe now, I'm not a child with going through those things, explaining what my life looks like now, kind of like, you know, things like that, reflecting. I'm gonna plan out my day. I'm trying to do this almost every single day. I'm trying to be more like on top of my schedule. And then obviously, I think we're gonna read some. And while I'm doing this, I'm putting my headphones on because I'm also gonna listen to some binaural beats. I have a couple of apps that I use. I've recommended these a few times on Instagram. I don't know if I've talked about them here. The app is called Brainwave. There's multiple versions of the app. I think it was like 99 cents to just buy it outright, to just like have like a full, just have it on your phone. And what you can do is you can play it. You have to play it with headphones on, and then you can have other music play with it. They have like their own selection of music in the app, but if you just turn like the ambience, like which is their music, down, you can just swipe out of the app, go to YouTube, Spotify, whatever, and you can just play your own sounds to it and it'll play in the background. I decided to go ahead and get some work done, and I was walking on my walking pad while I was doing so. I already got 6,000 steps in. Oh, I guess you guys haven't seen my office yet because it's a disaster. We're still working on it. I'm hoping to show you soon, hopefully the next video. I should be done with it. But we finally got a standing desk because I have a walking pad and I usually just do it when I'm reading or watching TV, but I was like, why not combine it with a desk? It's genius. It's life-changing. I got in 12,000 steps yesterday. I'm already at like 5 or 6 today, and I might need to slow down a little bit because I'm feeling a little sore. So now we're gonna make a midday matcha. I usually have my second caffeinated beverage around 3 p.m. because that's when Noah does it, and I just kind of like joined his over caffeinated habit. But now I'm trying to lower it and do it by like before 1 o'clock, because I'm also trying to go to sleep earlier. That's one of my biggest goals for this year, is to have a really good sleep schedule. Not all about like waking up at 5 a.m. and sleeping the least amount of time or whatever, more so about getting enough sleep, because if you are someone who has high cortisol, and sleep is a good way to lower your cortisol. And I guess it would make more sense to just cut out my second drink of the day, but I don't want to do that. I've struggled with a sugar addiction for most of my life. I grew up eating Pop-Tarts and sugary cereals and drinking Mountain Dew all the time. I had so many cavities as a kid. When I got older, I finally kicked my sugar habit. By kicking, I don't mean I stopped eating sugar. I have ice cream in the freezer. Got it to a very healthy level where like I can have a sweet treat for the day and like that's it. Where I used to have like super sweet coffee, super sweet matcha, dessert, sugary snacks all day, always getting cavities. I finally kicked that to like a healthy, balanced level. And then while we were out of a home and we were living in Airbnbs, we kind of treated ourselves, you know? And I am trying to fix that. And I noticed that my matcha, I used to do matcha, just plain matcha, and it's not tasting the way it used to taste. It's gonna take some time for your taste buds to kind of adjust. So I figured, you know what? I was really enjoying the sweet flavored matchas. Why not make them with things that like aren't as sugary? I love getting this vanilla cinnamon matcha from a local place. And I noticed all she was putting in there was vanilla syrup and then cinnamon. So I'm like, oh, I can do that. So I got cinnamon, obviously. And then these sweet drops by Sweet Leaf. It's a no sugar, no artificial ingredients, vanilla cream flavored stevia. I don't know a ton about stevia, like if it's better for you, if it's worse for you. Like I feel like all like the healthy girls, they all use stevia, so. Smells incredible. I have no clue how sweet this is gonna be, so we're gonna start with just like this much. Oh my god, is that way too much? I don't know. It's like a half a dropper. Let's do like a little more. All right, topping it with my matcha. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Oh my gosh, she's beautiful. Taste test time. Oh my gosh. This is so good. Please tell me, is stevia like, is it like, what am I thinking? The stuff that's in Diet Coke? I could Google this, I'll Google this, but if you also want to tell me, am I gonna be okay if I drink? Because they have so many flavors. I'm about to get it in every flavor. That is so good. Oh my goodness. Are you guys just the laziest pups? Hi, can I sit with you? Oh, no, don't move. Please don't leave. No, please don't leave. Can I sit with you guys? Can I sit with you? Oh, hello. Noah brought me coffee in bed before he left for work. Rusty, did you just burp? He added like a tiny drop of the vanilla. It's really good still. I probably shouldn't put it in everything or I'm gonna get tired of it, but right now I'm just having fun. I ended at page 548 last night. I should probably get up and make myself breakfast at some point, but the morning is young. That's not the phrase, it's the night is young, but you know, it is 8:33, so I have a little time. I finished it. So good. The ending was amazing. Once I got to page, spoiler alert, if you have not seen it, skip over the next few things I'm about to say. But once I got to the part where, spoiler alert, it's not a huge spoiler, but it's a spoiler. The Suriel died. I cried the rest of the way through this book. No one warned me that I was gonna cry this much. So many, like I just like love the characters so much. I'm so curious how many books are gonna be out in this. I did read originally it was gonna be like just a trilogy, like this would have been the final one. I would have been so sad not to know more about like Elaine, Nesta, Cassian, Azriel, I'm not sure, Lucian. I never know how to say their names. I thought it was Rysand until people on TikTok you know, about murdered me for saying it like that. I was like, oh, sorry. How are you supposed to know? My eyes hurt though, and I've cried a lot, so yay for me. Now I'm feeling the judgment right now. I'm sensing it. I was good. I went to my yoga class, okay? I went to a very hot 90-degree yoga class. I can only handle so many. How do you guys go 3 times a week to these classes? I come home and I feel like a limp noodle for the rest of the day. I'm so dehydrated, but don't worry, we're sipping. I even got a salad on the way home. I realized we needed groceries. But I want you to see this name right here, Noah A. Noah A. Noah comes in the door and says, I got you something. If someone brings me crumble cookies, I'm not going to waste it. On my journey of being healthier with my sugar consumption, I think it would be worse for me to deny myself the cookie that is in front of me. I want to not be afraid of it. It's just a cookie. I have restraint. I don't have to eat the whole box. All right, getting more serious, I did have my therapy call yesterday. I was planning, my goal was to vlog Monday and Thursday after my therapy calls and kind of get more of like an honest, vulnerable thought process. And something I'm realizing in my 30s that I did not understand in my 20s is I do not have to share something when I'm going through it. I mean, I'm not required to share something at all. I'm allowed to set boundaries with myself, not just with other people, but with myself. But with my healing journey, I like to share bits and pieces of it. I'd like to encourage other people to go on a healing journey if they need to, if they've gone through hardship or like trauma. I like for people to see that yes, it might be hard, but it pays off. You know, I think it's something that really plagued my family. I know for a fact, not for a fact, I shouldn't say that, but I have a lot of, I'm pretty sure if my mom had sought mental health services, her addiction wouldn't have gotten to where it was, and who knows how different her life would have turned out and how different our lives would have turned out, mine and my brother's. I've also, mental health is very like taboo in my family, and I've actually had quite a few family members in their lives. And I realized even when I was younger and I was like, oh, I don't need therapy, I don't need medication, blah, blah, blah. I realized I would always tell myself, oh, I just wish my mom would have gotten help. It would have made my life better. I wish she could have seen how much better it would have changed our lives. And then when I would hear myself say, oh, I don't need help, I reminded myself, my brothers are watching. My brothers, who are much younger than me, 8 years and 12 years younger than me, are watching my life, and I want them to see the difference that therapy and, if needed, medication has had on my life. And I have no shame in those things whatsoever. And so that's why I'm sharing that. But I am realizing I don't have to share it on the internet when I'm not ready or if I don't want to. I used to just kind of overshare and give too many details that I would later feel uncomfortable with, because I would share so quickly that I was very emotional. I wouldn't take time to to sit with my emotions, process it, and then figure out, what do I want to share? What am I okay living on the internet? Because now I look back and I've shared some things that I wish I could take back. So it's better for me to sit back and not necessarily always share in the moment, and instead reflect, like kind of share as a reflection, and make sure like, if someone misunderstands this and they don't perceive it correctly, can I handle it? And if I cannot, then I shouldn't share it, because it's not owed. But if I feel like it's gonna help someone and I think I can handle if someone doesn't take it right, then that's different. And luckily, I will say, as I've gotten older, I've stopped caring so much when people don't understand me. It's still, I think the grieving part still bothers me a little bit, because when I get messages like, how could you say she was so abusive, but you know, and then you miss her, like that doesn't make sense. I'm like, how dare you, because you don't know my dynamic with my mom, and no matter what she did, yes, she did all those things, that doesn't mean she didn't do those things. I'm allowed to still feel the loss. Like that's such like a, when people say that, I'm like, it's one of those reminders that some people lack empathy. Mainly on Instagram, like people that find me from like a random reel on the explore page and don't know me. Like I don't really struggle with that with you guys, but luckily I think as I'm getting older, I'm starting to not care as much when people misunderstand me. It's kind of a long-winded way of saying, the reason I didn't record yesterday was a very, very hard session. I sobbed. And it was much needed, you know? It was much needed, and I feel a lot better. I feel like I needed to get it out. We did not finish working through in like the EMDR, IFS stuff. We didn't finish working through the current time in my life we're working through. So it's still like we're going through like the hardest thing of my trauma. Personally, to me, I think the hardest one of all of them. But we're getting there. And it's gotten better. Like the point through IFS and EMDR is to kind of almost like desensitize you. You kind of like, I don't want to say hypnotized. It feels like you're being hypnotized. I don't know if that's what it's called, so I don't know. You feel like you're being hypnotized and like taken back to the trauma, and you like relive it, and you like speak to the version of yourself that's stuck there, and like kind of convince them to like look and see what your life is like now, so that your nervous system kind of like calms down around it and you stop having that like PTSD response. And then also like reliving the moment till it's like desensitized almost, which is weird to think about. And at first I was like, this sounds like a little crazy to me. It's life-changing. It works so well. I have never felt so free. And like I used to be like, oh wow, I'm back on the internet, or oh wow, I'm back to feeling like myself. And then 2 weeks later I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm really struggling. The last few years I've really struggled with my mental health, and I wish I could have like talked to you guys about it more, but it's like I wasn't ready, you know, kind of those things where I was like allowing myself, I wasn't ready to talk about it because I was currently really going through it. But lately, now that we're kind of getting towards, I think we're getting towards the end of my therapy. For now, I'm sure, who knows, maybe I'll be back in it in the future, but I think for now we're getting towards the end of like this thing this like treatment program I'm in, and I feel so much lighter and so much freer and so much ready to like live my life. Where I used to think the reason I was doing this, I'm gonna be honest, I thought I started this channel because I needed to prove to myself that my trauma had purpose, and that the purpose was that I could like help other people through it. And now I've realized, no, my trauma happened because something very unfair happened to me. It wasn't for purpose. It was shitty, and I'm allowed to accept that. But I have purpose regardless of what I went through. And I don't need to be like, oh, I have to create a purpose from the pain I went through. You know, they say like, turn your pain into a purpose. I used to live by that. And you can do that. I think that mindset got me out of my hometown and living like around those people that hurt me. But I think I had to come to terms that like, it's okay if I don't want to talk about it all the time. Like, there's nothing wrong with people who go on to become like public speakers and talk about mental health. And I do think I'll always want to like slightly share my journey here, but it's okay if I don't want that to be what defines me all the time. But anyways, today I woke up and I felt so much better, and I'm still taking it easy. Noah is going and doing like a guys' night. They're going to the Comedy Cellar. He invited me with, but I was like, I love you. I think I want to end my week off at home. And so here's what I'm gonna do. Where is it? I'm gonna eat my crumble cookie, and I'm gonna do one other thing. Let me show you. I am gonna color. Yep. My therapist also advised me to do more like very calming, like I said, calming activities like watercolor and painting. In a week or two, we're gonna do a baking video. I've decided, I think I wanna try making sourdough bread, and I think I wanna make it a video. I lost my other coloring book. It was like really a cute, I had like an anxiety relief coloring book, but I found this one, stress relief, bold, easy coloring, because I'm not good at coloring. This isn't something I need to be good at. It's just meant to be like, you know, easy, keeps me from scrolling on my phone, doing whatever. So look at this. Oh my god, that one's so cute. I might do that one. And I think there's a new episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City that is not calming my nervous system, but we gonna watch it anyways. The size of a crumble cookie continues to shock me. I realized I didn't know which one Noah wants and which one I want. And I'm like, oh shoot, so maybe we'll just do a half and half. That's what we normally do. So this is the skillet cookie. It's supposed to have like a vanilla frosting. It's huge. And then we got the vanilla cupcake. Pretty damn good.
The way I'm done that you were. Spread lies and intimate things that are not true. Cheers. Come in. Hi, Fernanda. Fernanda, where? Here. Coming up. I don't know how